number one, you recruit character.
Can't control the sun, the wind, how well your opponent plays, but you do have the ability to control your effort and attitude. Philippians 4:13, you can do anything through the strength of God.
Introducing this new and exciting episode of a Lot of Racket podcast, brought to you by this week's proud sponsor, Champion Ford, known as the home of champions. Are you ready to elevate your drive to a champion level? Well, Champion Ford not only brings you a winning offer on vehicles that match your winning spirit, but also the winning UCLA women's tennis associate head coach, Rance Brown.
I had a phenomenal student I had taught since she was 12 years old, off and on, and she had taught with several higher level pros in the area, the Phil Vincent Sidballs, and Carrie Phoebus went into UCLA after senior in high school in Newport, and lost in the finals that summer. Came home and said, I need you to help me full time, and you should ask Bill and Stella if you want to be volunteer. So being a volunteer coach, I started that way. In 97, 96, I was a volunteer coach. Halfway through the year, Bill Zyman, the head coach, said I'm resigning. And now, so happened that Coach Sampras got the head coaching job, and she said, hey, you do this well. You're used to running academies, running practices. I had no clue about being a college coach per se. I was a teacher, and I definitely think parents should definitely understand who should coach my child, who should do this, find someone that can teach, number one. But to go back, working as a volunteer, being able to be an assistant coach, I kind of kept three students down in Newport, went home every night and taught, but had a great time that first year coaching. We went to the semis. I think Carrie went to the finals that year, and I fell in love with college coaching. It was instant. It's pretty neat to be an impact in young people's lives as we are as a young developing. But there's a lot of firsts in college too. 18 to 21, there's a lot that goes on in life. Right. And I was the young girl back then. A lot of the girls could come to me and talk to me or ask my opinion, and it's like, wow, you develop relationships. It's not just that hour on the court, even though you have phenomenal relationships. But this is real. This is more real life sometimes. Bigger things happen in life at those ages. So being in 97, volunteer, being assistant, lucky we had some great years, getting the coaches of the year and all those types of things are very nice. I've been blessed to win a few rings.
Like how many rings?
2 teams,
Sheesh.
2 individuals, and 3 doubles NCAA titles.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I feel lucky. It's fortunate. You feel very fortunate. Thank you, Roger.
Take that luck out of there. Take that luck.
I'm fortunate to be able to have that. But again, I was someone who was always reaching out for more information. You were down in Carson later in your career as a national coach.
Yeah.
One of my dear friends, Lori McNeil, was down there. And I learned so much from you guys. I can remember getting my high performance letter and reading about Ron Smith coaching and teaching on the bench. So again, getting to UCLA through the teaching, now coaching, and having success at a university, it's been a fortunate situation. But it's not for everyone, Roger.
Yes.
Yes. A lot of guys don't want my job. If you don't win, sayonara. And there's pressure to win at UCLA. Like I said, it's not for everyone, but you got to win.
Yeah.
They're hungry to win. It's not, let's compete, put a good team out, graduate our kids. They expect excellence.
And shout out to UCLA and Stella. And I've talked to Stella, and I've heard Stella on some podcasts also. She gives you a lot of credit, and and I always say there's not enough credit given to the people behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. But she also says that you're not really behind the scenes as an assistant. You're right there with her. And that is just something that's great to hear a coach just give an assistant coach just as much credit that they get. How is it working with Stella? And I know she's special.
It's she is. I'll start crying. One word: we're family.
Yeah.
The environment she's created where I can be me. I'm not going to take a Sam Chris's job. I'm not going to go in this. She doesn't have me go, but she's very good at what she does. She allows me to. She has my opinion. She allows you to be heard. To be heard in life is huge, but it has allowed me to be better. It's allowed me. Errol comes into our family. A lot of coaches.
Wait, you mean you brought him into your family?
Thank you. We brought Errol into our program. A lot of guys my age is like, I got this young hoopty over here, man. Everyone loves him. The girls, they're going to take my job. But again, I look at it as, he took the leadership of the NCAA this last May when we went to Orlando. Stella's allowed us to find who we click with. And I'm not ignorant. I'm going to ride that horse. Earl's connection and Tian's is special.
Oh, thank you.
Special. Trust. For an athlete to trust you is everything. She trusts him. So, someone asked me, so-and-so argument. It's like, no, we got it. He'd come over, ask me this, that, we're a team. But Stella has allowed that security for everyone to be able to blossom and highlight what you do. I can't do what Stella does. I don't want to do what Stella does. I don't want to.
It's a lot. Shout out to Coach Stella.
Yes.
Coach E, what he does and brings to the table. And everyone I'm talking, it sounds like, oh, this is just normal. It's not.
It's not.
This is not. The leader of that ship is important. And she treats everybody the same, from the top to the bottom. And I just go back, we're family.
And you're right. You're so right that in coaching, being in coaching, we've all been coaching, that it is a team. And a great coach is just not someone that's coaching on the court, but it's someone who leads in the purpose, in the goals of the group. And so that shout out again to you and Coach Stella. And let me also thank you and Stella and UCLA so much for allowing my son to be a part of this great organization, this dynasty. And I really, really appreciate it.
That's very nice of you to say, but as my dad would say, a lot that is given is a lot that is expected. And he has stepped up and represented himself and his family.
And I'm going to say this. You hired all our kids. You hired all of our kids.
And nephews.
You hired them.
Yes, sir.
You were in that position
Uncle Rance.
to give your family members jobs.
Yeah.
My son this day loves it. Oh my God.
There's a whole lot of guys that talk with Rance and walks the walk.
I say, hey, Rance, our man just tell him come on over.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm talking about.
But the thing is Connor went on to teach other places. Errol is connected with the coaching. So you just open up doors by being in the position that you're in to help everyone else out. And you're so unselfish with that. My heart's out to you, man, and I love you for that.
Those summer camps, and him, not just a job, right? But watching him maneuver and teaching, and just the impact that they have on us now in retrospect. Well, can I talk about one other thing? We talked about this. What about all the girls that don't make it to UCLA?
Troy, you and I had an interesting conversation. A lot of girls come to me, I want to walk on, I want to be part of the program, and I get it, it's a great thing to be a part of, but I try to tell them, it's probably, go play. You worked all your life, go play at a smaller school, go be that big fish in a smaller pond. And they don't really understand it at the time because, hey, I want to go to UCLA too. But you're not probably going to see the court. And unless you are a true blue and true, and this is the only thing. But to win a 3-all match at North Carolina, small school in North Carolina, wherever it is, and walk on a college campus and be a student athlete, and I won the match, doesn't matter. Those are beautiful things. It's a lot that comes along about being a student athlete.
I was gonna say, or also a high school campus.
Yeah, we did have our experience on that.
Oh, wow.
I don't blow them out of the water quite now.
If you are enjoying this podcast, please subscribe on YouTube at A Lot of Racket Podcast. And follow us at A Lot of Racket on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And also my website, CoachRogerSmith.com, where we offer exclusive content, courses, one-on-one sessions, and more info on how you can join our community of tennis enthusiasts.
Well, first of all, it started back in, this was May 2021, I believe. And right after the pandemic, I'm starting to come back playing again, and I'm working hard training. I'm shout out to Sekou Van Gore and Abraham Asaba. We're training hard, and I get a call from Rance Brown, and he's like, "Yo, E, what's going on, man? We're in Orlando right now." And I'm like, "Oh, really? I'm in Tampa. I'm training right now. What's up?" He's like, "Yo, well, I gotta I want to offer you and see if you would like to be our volunteer assistant. We would love to give you the job, give you an interview." And I would say, Rance, I really don't know. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like, pandemic just is finishing right now, or, it's just kind of dying down. I'm still playing right now. I just don't know. He was like, well, hey, just give me a call in a month, and, we'll sit down and have a conversation. And it was honestly, probably one of the best phone calls of my life, because, later in that September, I'm working with the team. Fast forward, I'm working with the team, and just to be able to come into an environment, just like Rance was saying, just it makes it so easy. And you before going to there, you and Troy and Terry, y'all told me, well, if you do this, you got to make it worthwhile for these ladies, and you gotta go after it. And my thing is, I just want to get a ring. I'm just like, let's go get a ring. So Rance like, okay, we're gonna try to get a ring. So I'm just like, yo, so just being able to go in that environment, and just like Rance just said, Coach Stella, she just lets us flourish and do whatever, do what we need to do to get these girls right, to bring home championships, and just learning from Coach. I mean, I watch him every day just to watch his moves. I try to, emulate what he does, and when you go to the Hall of Fame, you see his name and you see his accolades, and just to be under his wing and in Coach Stella's wing, it's a blessing, and I'm so grateful just to even get the call again that one day, just to just asking me, offering me the job, and I'm so excited to work with you guys and give me the opportunity, and it's helped me already so much in life.
How have you grown from it? How have you grown from the experience? If there's one or two things, how has it touched you?
Well, one, that I played college tennis, so just going through that process, it's a whole different side than being a player. And I when I was going through that process at LMU, as a lot of you guys played, you see it, you're going through it, and you're just trying to win, yeah. But you have not seen it from the coach's standpoint. It's not, of course, but we need it's about the whole process. It's not just about one match or one point or one practice. It's about the whole process. You're going to class every day, making sure you have your life straight, making sure you have your summer straight to come back to college, making sure especially if you have a great coach. And if you have great coaches to lead you, especially, it just makes the college experience 50 times, a million times better, as well as winning, obviously. If you win, I mean, and that's what UCLA does. They win. So it was a no-brainer for me to be a part of this process when Coach gave me that call.
Well, I surely appreciate it.
I want to touch base on this. I'm sure you can look at your dad's phone, but you don't know this. But him and I were in a lot of conversations. and me being able to text him, your son's blowing it up.
Oh man, thank you.
And that was after a match against San Diego State. It had nothing to do with winning a national title. I was just proud you were able, the way you came in and conducted yourself, because it's not easy. It's not easy coming into that venue and gaining respect from Stella and I, and gaining respect from those young ladies.
The state?
Pardon?
The San Diego State?
The state.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we
beat
your lump.
We took him down. I'm sorry, we took him down.
Troy.
We took him down. Yeah.
Not in the same league, Troy.
Wow.
You made it to the finals of the NCAA's in basketball this year?
Yeah.
Basketball.
That's who's, man.
We're talking tennis, right?
Tennis? Oh.
It did put them on the map. But you're not coming to the Pac-12.
Well, look.
I used to eat the Pac-12 for lunch. Hey, Pac-12, you guys know me. Yeah, that's free. I come in there with San Diego State. Look out. Black and red, boy.
So you got that pride.
Nobody came to San Diego State, so we had to go to Stanford, UCLA, SC. Come on, y'all remember? Scott, all you cats remember.
Yeah.
You came on in there hardcore.
You probably took that van and drove all the way. How you been in a van at UCLA?
Zero.
Wow.
Coaching over 2 decades. The Serena Williams effect. Oh, there's so many black girls playing college tennis from junior college, NAIA, all the way up. And I know you've come across a lot. What's the young lady at Florida?
Brianna Morgan.
Shout
out to Brianna Morgan.
Lady that won the NCAA's a couple of years ago. Was it Oklahoma or she was out of?
Yeah, we had Diane Bloomfield, winning the doubles, Gabby Andrews.
Yeah, so you've seen from 2 decades, not just at UCLA, but players.
I'll tell you what, it's so interesting. People in America, we call it the lily white sport, country club sport. And you started traveling, and I think one of the first times I saw Roger, we're in Repentigny in Canada.
You remember that?
What were you wearing?
And
What was going on over there?
it was the tournament right before the U.S. Open Juniors.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So if you're smart, you go to Repentigny and you find out which kids are going to turn pro. You can talk to the coaches in the park. You can kind of get the layup. You should get to U.S. Open. It's crazy.
Yes.
But you go to Repentigny. I went to Repentigny 5 years ago, right before the pandemic. Half the draw, more than half, is now brown. It might not just be black, it is Indian, but it is not a lily white sport anymore. You can learn how to hit a forehand in Kapistan on YouTube, anywhere you want. But it is so interesting. In a way, you're proud to see these young women and men who are getting opportunities.
Well, the ITF changed.
ITF changed everything. Yeah.
Any other black coaches, tennis in the country?
I hope that changes.
You don't know? I mean, can you give out a name? Gee whiz.
They're all on this hand.
Where's your ring?
No. The babies are chilling. The babies are chilling.
You know, it's easy in this town to get humbled because everybody got rings.
Yeah, right.
I need them for all. I want them all, then I'll have them.
But I remember that trip.
Yeah.
And then you recruited Stephanie
Stephanie Wetmore. Yes.
I was there.
Yes. Yes.
You recruited.
I recruited Stephanie from Canada.
told
Came
me.
in and won a national title for me.
Yes.
Ended up, transferring, going to Georgetown, getting a master's, and now a successful businesswoman in Canada.
Yeah.
But it is so interesting now to see tennis outside the U.S. It is not white. Even in the U.S. it's changing. I look Pac-12, and I say almost every school has an African-American girl on the team. Not on the boys' side, but on the girls' side.
Hey, shout out to historically black college coaches that are coaching women's teams. We have Rance Brown here. He is available. If you have any questions on what you need to do to produce a championship team,
He's the man.
Rance is here. So,
Multiple rings.
Yeah, so, I just kind of wanted to throw that in. Because women's college tennis is
It's changing. It's
Yeah.
going to change. We have some bright stars. Raquel Jones,
Yeah.
who I admire. She took the Washington State job. And I don't know if any of you have been to Pullman. But if you go to Pullman and you're an athlete there, you're hell of a recruiting. It's a tough place to recruit. Pullman is out there. For Raquel won to take that job, retiring from pro tennis, 2-time NCAA champ.
Yes.
The school won, gave her the opportunity. And that's what we have to have, these schools give these young women opportunities.
the former #1 player for you guys.
Robin Anderson.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There's
Still out there
There's
playing.
gonna be
Killing it.
opportunities from these young ladies, and we will see more African American.
Listen, when I used to practice with top players, Edberg, Connors, McEnroe, and I was young.
Troy Collins.
And I was young. And I
We
tell
get
my-
every day.
Listen, I tell my players this all the time. You know the best thing you can get from practicing with these guys?
Probably do what you did, working.
No, not just hitting with them. 'Cause see, I was young. I want to beat them. I want to see how they hit the ball. It's what's in their head.
Picking the brain.
And I was young and I didn't take advantage of that. I did not take advantage of that. Now, I'm going to ask you, Rick, the best thing we can get from you on this show is to send a message to the millions out there, and we're going to reach a million or more. How does one get on the radar for UCLA? How do you recruit? What do you look for? I know you get a million messages, emails. What stands out? What should one be looking for?
It's a great question, Roger. Number one, you recruit character. You don't recruit damn UTR. You recruit character. Probably one of my.
Man, come on now. Come on now.
You recruit
What's
character.
the lowest UTR person that you have recruited that has turned out to actually?
UTR wasn't in effect then. But this young lady came to UCLA. She beat your athlete, Nicole Gibbs. Who ended up.
Who? She ain't beat Nicole Gibbs.
She beat Nicole Gibbs.
Shout out Nicole Gibbs.
Shout out
Who
to
won 2 NCAA titles.
Gibbsy.
Put Stanford on her back and won a couple more team titles.
Yes.
ITF, Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's playing Nicole. 2 games, Nicole threw a racket into the fence. First set, Nicole lost 6-1 through a racket first set. This young lady, her name is Caitlin Ray.
Wow. Wow. Shout out to Caitlin Ray.
I called Stella. This is when I say family. I said, Stella, you trust me? She said, yeah. I said, I have a girl for us. Caitlin Ray wasn't on our radar, on the sheet or anything. I want you guys to know. Came to UCLA, probably lost 5 matches in her career at number 6. Went to Duke Law, working for one of the largest law firms in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, there's been a tremendous amount of amazing people come through. When you have a person like this, we won a national team title because of K-Ray, and not on the court, what she did in the locker room. As you guys know, a lot of things can be won and lost in the
That's
locker room. But you recruit character. I don't like UTR scoring. I don't anything with the program. I really try to look at the kids inside, because nowadays you have to, because the coaches are going to tell you what you want to hear. She had a bad tournament. She had this, that. And again, we're pretty fortunate. We don't have to. We're UCLA. We're on top of that food chain, Troy. We're picking from the best, but still, you have to. Eight people in a team, and you have a cancer, it can really hurt a team.
Yes, it can.
And getting a young lady that can be challenged in and out of the classroom is important. So Roger, to answer your question, the first things young people should do when they get a 9th grade is start emailing me. And when we say no thank you, but thank you for email me again. Hey, good luck, coach, on your dual match against SC. I want people that want to be Bruins, that follow our program, not to come to UCLA, one of the finest academic institutions in the world.
Of course.
But I want someone who wants to be a Bruin. And if she's 2 points lower than that girl, UTR, I'd rather have that girl, because when we play SC, she knows what a rivalry is.
Mm-hmm.
This girl right here who had that UTR, I'm over it. I played Wimbledon and I played US. It's only SC. So we love kids who want to be Bruins, that understand, we've been in a conference of champions for a long time. They understand that. I think for a parent, it's pretty damn scary. But I want to give parents an understanding. We've got to keep our kids wanting to go to school. These kids, foreign kids, I've had a few. I love every single one of them. And I think it brings a learning and enrichment to your program for these young people to have that experience with a foreign athlete. But I really like American kids who
Well, I'm glad
understand.
you stand firm on that.
Yeah,
And that's how-
they understand a national championship, a ring. It's not just I'm a national champion. Because most of us won't play pro tennis.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get the message to the kids that look, there are like 20 20 players ranked in the top 100 right now that went through college. So it's different than when we went to college, guys, right? We had to go to college, right? John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors, you name it, we all went to college. We went through a phase there where parents, coaches, players, if you go to college, you're done. Right? Now it seems to be coming back around.
Yeah, that's good.
How do you get that message that, hey, you're going to need college for 1 or 2 years or 3 years? You get them to buy into that. How do you get that message? Because the parents are the ones you're going to fight.
It's still an ongoing recruiting process, and telling these kids college can't help you. I think college pro tennis has changed. The physicality, average age on the women's side, probably when you played was 19, 20 years old. It's probably 25, 26.
Oh, wow.
To have
Can we cut this? I gotta go.
the wherewithal to be able to deal with college and deal with all these other things are huge. But the parents have to understand there are more spots than there are girls. We just have to be willing. Hey, I don't get to go to my first choice, SC. I don't get to go to my second choice. I don't get to go to my third choice. But as you say, maybe my fourth and fifth choice are my best choices. I'm going to blossom and I'll have a better opportunity to play pro tennis. You get 20, 30 matches in a year.
Or just the college experience in itself as a college athlete, whether it's NAIA, junior college to Division I. We talked about that a person could, in their moment, have just as an incredible experience winning a match. Let's say a Division III team. And simultaneously, UCLA against SC over here. Those emotions and the experience that they're going through are just as equal. And
Very true.
So we just don't want kids to miss the college experience because they were so-called overlooked at UCLA.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you told me straight up from day one going to LMU. You said, hey, just because you're going to LMU, you got something to wear.
Yeah.
You got something on your back. People are still coming after you, especially being black.
Yeah.
So it's like regardless, Wherever you go, you have a target on your name, and you got to rise above that.
Well, the proof's in the pudding. You know, when you got a Daniel Collins, with 2 different schools,
Yes.
Yeah.
and got to 5 in the world, Australian Open finalist. You got Player of the Week, Chris Eubanks. Now
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Eubanks.
Round of 16s
Look
now.
at that.
Jim Brady.
Shout out to Jim Brady.
Jim Brady, you're a player. Finals of the Australian Open.
Yeah.
Played 2-3 years for you,
2 years.
and played number 2.
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Wow.
You got your Nicole Gibbs.
Only athlete that told me, I don't care what number I play, make me play the correct way. And if I don't, be real.
Damn.
Wow.
Shout out to Jim Brady.
Listen, you got your John Isner, very successful career. You got your Marcus Giron now, UCLA, 60.
Chrissy got
And you can go on. You got your
Stevie
Ben
Johnson.
Shelton.
Stevie Johnson.
Look at Ben Shelton,
Ben Shelton.
30 in the world.
Yeah.
I feel that young man's got a tremendous
Yeah.
future ahead of him.
And not only that, you know, Rance, there's only been a few blacks that have accomplished what you've accomplished.
What'd you say?
There's only been a few black coaches that accomplished what he's accomplished.
Well, coaches, period, let alone black.
Coaches, period. With either NCAA team or NCAA single champions. I mean, you got yourself, your Brian Shelton, Ronnie Harmon. Is there anyone else that you could think of?
Yeah, there are.
There are a lot out there. We don't want
There are a few smaller schools. They're
Yeah.
starting at smaller schools. A lot of young coaches.
Yeah.
And they're out there. The historical black universities.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to find young women who were black that played 10 years ago that had a career that are coming back into.
Yes.
You're seeing a lot of that now.
Yes.
That's
So,
awesome.
and I think the girls see, wow, what a great way to make a living. I mean,
Right.
Stella's a prime example, a young woman who went to college, won a national championship, went off and played some pro tennis, and came back and it's had, a Hall of Fame career.
It's not just one thing that makes a great truck, it's a variety of features that make your truck great. The Ford Ranger or the F-Series are both efficient and reliable. At Champion Ford, we have a truck that will boldly take you on all your adventures.
A lot of racket. We're back. Coach Rance, the man. You had the NCAA champion this year. Another one to add to your list. What was that experience like? I think she's the first Chinese
Yes.
to win an NCAA championship. Let's talk about that experience. How did you get to UCLA? And I mean, it worked out perfect.
It really did. Kind of a perfect storm. She was coming over to take a visit at Cal Berkeley. Coach Sampras had convinced her to stop by UCLA since we're so close to the airport and look at UCLA. I think by phone she had kind of given her verbal, but I guess in my cocky ways, it's once I get you on campus.
Yeah.
And I think, if you ask her, she came and it's a lot. It's pretty impressive. It's a pretty impressive place as a student athlete. And, getting her to see some things that, as you guys know, you got to interview her personality. It's just
beautiful. Yes.
It's amazing. So, again, character. Stella, this is a no-brainer. I can look on paper and see what she can do on a court, but we need this kid. So,
Did you guys see her play before?
no.
Was she not on your radar?
She wasn't on the radar, but that's not uncommon because for the last 2 years they were locked down. See, that was a weird time.
Right.
Usually she probably would have been on the ITF, but she couldn't leave China for the 2
Do you have a
years.
translator?
No, her English is pretty good.
Okay,
She has an American coach,
Yeah.
so I think that helps
Work
her
through it.
quite a bit. Shout out to Mango.
Shout out Mango.
Again, the American coaches, she just picked up on all those things. So it's easy to sell that. Again, let's just be honest, UCLA is 52% Pacific Rim. It's a nice environment to go where people look like you,
Absolutely.
talk like you, and it's a comfort level. Not that a lot of schools don't have that, but I think UCLA is, in that sense, it's a target-rich environment. You're going to make a lot of friends, American and non-American. So I think getting her on campus, we offered her, and she flourished. She flourished, and I really do think. You mentioned the people behind the scenes. And besides her teammates, who she adores, but I think her comfort with Stella, with I, and definitely with E. She just has that. They have a nice bond where they have that trust.
So, big shout out to Big Foe Tiafo. And you had mentioned something earlier that really struck me and was great, and the connection that he has with UCLA. Let's elaborate on that out loud.
France,
Put that man business out in the street.
all I can say is he got another one of these for UCLA.
Say that again.
He got another one of these for UCLA.
With who?
His girlfriend, I Am Bloomfield. Her and Gabby Andrews won a doubles title, and I want to let you know, I might only have one ring, but it's bigger than all three of mine put together. Ooh, she designed her ring as nice as that I've ever seen. It's a piece of jewelry, but it's a French Open. I'll never forget it. My phone rang, and I didn't answer. And then I looked and said, Tiofo, and I didn't have France's in there. I had Tiofo. And I hit it back, and hello, and I said, Francis, you're at the French Open, what are you doing? He goes, hey, coach, I called you, my girlfriend wants to transfer. And I said, oh, who's your girlfriend? He tells me, I'm Bloomfield, she plays #1 for Clemson. I said, can she play Francis? Coach, I wouldn't be calling you, He's such a humble kid, I've been playing hard, trying to keep the lights on, coach. And I said, I'm looking for a player, have a scholarship. Can she come out? 7 days later, she flew out with mom, picked him up at the airport, got him to the hotel, and I think Tian was sold right from the beginning. She loved the campus, and she had been in college tennis and been around the SEC, so she had traveled, she understands. But again, we hit it off. She's family to me. I will go to her wedding, and I will be a part of her life forever. She's a special kid. But Francis gave me that call, and again, I knew Francis from the junior ITF and knew him out there. But again, Francis making that call. Why did he make that call?
It wasn't UCLA. It was our friendship. Being another black man saying she was looking for a different experience. Had nothing to do with Clemson and the coaches or the kids. I just think she wanted a comfort level of someone that's going to have her back. There's some things that come along for African American women as athletes. I think she was looking for a comfort zone, and I think Ian trusted me, which I feel for any coach, teacher, trust is the number one thing we need to be effective. Yeah.
How many full rides do you have?
Women at D1 level have 8 max.
8.
8 full rides. You can't split up.
Chapman had 4.
Men at 4.5. That's max.
The men at 4. Yeah. Oh, see, that's it. That's it.
Title 9.
Yes, Title 9. That's right.
The NCAA are making a lot of rule changes constantly.
Yes.
That's affecting all sports. They've now introduced athletes getting paid, which is, I think, great. I'm all for that. In tennis specifically, I know there's probably a couple of changes. But they're now allowing payment for a second assistant coach. How do you feel about that, and how will that affect college tennis?
Well, that means a volunteer.
No,
Yes.
a second assistant coach.
So it's the volunteer. Well, they need to pay the volunteer.
We're talking about the NCAA making rule changes. They're constantly making rule changes that affect college sports. I know for tennis, one of the new changes, if not, is introducing a second grade assistant. How do you feel about that? How will that affect college tennis or UCLA? And how do you feel about that? What is UCLA's take on it?
I feel it's a long time coming. I feel it's a long time coming. I really feel it's shortened some of the Olympic sports. I feel tennis is an individual sport. Two coaches really can't be that effective, and even if you have a volunteer in California is a little bit different than being a volunteer in Oklahoma, where that volunteer probably has another job to try to solidify and balance their life. But it's a long time coming. I think the challenges now for the athletic departments are finding the resources to make this all work again. We're fortunate being Pac-12, moving into the Big Ten. Big Ten, yeah. The Ohio State.
Wait, not to cut you off.
Hey, he's repping UCLA though.
I'm wearing this.
He's repping UCLA.
Hold on. I'm wearing this out of respect for you, sir.
Let me tell you,
But everybody
the only
knows me.
time I ever see you in
I
blue.
don't care. Not come between me and the Buckeyes.
I don't know how you did it.
Okay, die and bread Buckeyes. So,
Anyway, hashtag respect. I literally feel for our sport to take another level, we do need another coach to help us out. And it's more individualized. Our program's been a little bit more individualized more than others. We have team practice 3 times a week, and we have individual practice twice a week. So for those things to happen and be effective and have a developmental plan for each girl, you need extra coach. And again, it's something that should have been happening a long time ago. I'm sure universities just look at the bottom line. I understand that. But for these kids to want to be elite, you need that extra coach. And hopefully that UCLA right now is I can only speak for our school. I think SC is already doing it in tennis.
What's your pride?
they're already paying for a second assistant.
They're already paying for a second.
So-
Our school has told us that we're not going to be starting until we go into the Big Ten. And I'm sure the finances going into a different conference is definitely the move why they've made that. But we definitely need that, because otherwise it's too hard to keep the cohesiveness. You're getting an assistant each year, a volunteer assistant, because they're going on to
Right, of course.
to another job and getting a full-time assistant. So
Exactly.
this can keep a staff together and keep the program better and the cohesiveness. I feel that's one of Stella's and I's strengths.
Can I ask you a question? It's always implemented in the pros where they have an Errol training with the team, or you had other players who, for football, you carry a big roster, so you have practice partners. And it's part of the coaching part of it. But for tennis, why wouldn't it be that way? Because do you train with the girls?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's another body training,
Non-revenue.
Pardon me.
I think though we were kind of ahead of the ball game. We've had a boy hitting team for like 7 years.
Yeah.
So I get some boys who are, hey, top Southern Cal kids, top kid in the country,
Yeah.
but maybe they're going pre-med engineers.
Yeah.
And they just aren't the level to play tennis, and they're going to put their resources towards education. But having someone that can hit with one of the girls, and that's what we're dealing with,
Yeah.
high level.
Yeah.
Like you said, UCLA is such an epicenter for tennis that you have so many resources.
Having one Earl, it's nice.
Rance, I want to say something. I've learned so many, the 3 R's: release, review, reset. I mean, you're laughing, but these things, when you're talking about junior development, these are foundation pieces that you can really build champions on. Winning and learning, and there's no such thing as losing, right? And just throw out a couple more of those cliches or these little tidbits that over the years that are really, speaks volume.
Yeah, through the leadership of Stella and Dr. Parham, just understanding what can you control on the court. As Roger knows, not a hell of a lot. You can't control the sun, the wind, how well your opponent plays, but you do have the ability to control your effort and attitude. And those are life lessons. That's the beauty of our sport. The good parts of our sport, you learn so much, and that gets tested. You are going to be uncomfortable every single day you hit a blanking court. And to understand, that's life. And how your effort and your attitude handles those situations is everything. And that's something that we really, our core of our team, we really try to get these young people to understand is your effort and attitude. You might only have an hour in you today, but give me your best hour. You might had a terrible day, you might have flunked a test, give me your best 30 minutes. These kids have bad days. But Roger, to get back to what you were talking about, to getting the third coach, to invest in these young people's lives, I hopefully that you have a leader, an athletic director that wants to do that, and it's going to start at the top. And I hope Martin has come in and definitely changed the culture at UCLA. I think he's gotten everyone's attention. I hope the changes with moving to the Big Ten is not just hearsay and what we all hear. Again, I think some of the schools in the Pac-12 are going to the third coach right now for whatever reasons. UCLA has not made that move for women's tennis. I hope it comes sooner than later. My frustrating thing is we can't even raise the money. They don't want us to raise the money to pay the coach this year. So that's the frustrating part. Me sitting here as a coach and my frustrations, but that's what the school's decided to do right now.
So a kid coming in, a really determined kid, like we were at one point, and we all wanted to play professional tennis. Then you're trying to recruit this player, and we want to go to UCLA, but there's a better offer. Let's say
It's a better offer than UCLA.
Where it's financially, where it's money.
Give an example.
Well, you can now pay athletes, okay? But certain schools are paying more than other schools. But I want to go to UCLA, but let's say another university is going to pay more. And I think you've run into this already. Sure. Where you've lost some players. Sure. And then the second part of it is you can't only pay them, but now they're going to go to a school where there's 3 coaches, not 2, and a volunteer assistant. How do you compete against that, and what do you say to that?
There's a lot of head coaches at UCLA on the Olympic sports that are yelling and screaming and saying the same thing. I watched the softball world championships. There's not one girl on the University of Oklahoma's women's softball team that's making less than $35,000. Wow. Half their team are transfers, and not fifth-year transfers, kids that are in their sophomore. Why are you leaving a school that you're the best pitcher in your conference, you're this? So the money is an issue. It's a frustrating thing. I'm not against kids getting paid. I'm against the collectives. And Troy, what has changed now, what was underneath the table?
Now it's on top of the table.
It's right there.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Davis, I want your daughter to come to my school. Rance, why would you say my daughter should come to your school? I can give you that argument. 30 minutes later, you get a call from school X over there, and he's going to give your daughter $50,000 to travel for the summer to play. Now,
wow,
that might change your whole decision process.
It will.
It will. Now, and no one's looking in the long run. And again, nothing's wrong with these. Santa Barbara versus Notre Dame. I'm going to go to Santa Barbara because they're giving me this. But what's Notre Dame going to do for you in 15, 20 years? Or I'm a Midwest kid and want to go work in Chicago. A school like Notre Dame, big alumni. that's probably in the long run gonna be better off if you don't have a parent to navigate some things and say, let's keep focus on after pro tennis, which might be 2 years, maybe
Right.
10 years. As we all know, it's a tough business.
And as you say that, who's that going to affect most?
It's kind of,
Because most of us,
it's definitely,
blacks,
Need
are
that
going to make
money.
short-term decisions for the money.
definitely, and
But I'm gonna see like what happened in the era that Rodney and the small schools like SMU, Trinity, all those private schools be
paying.
putting out that big money,
They're paying big money.
be paying that big money for players to come. But still, UCLA is UCLA.
yeah, but you know what?
But-
I get a free massage once a week. I got yoga 3 times a week. I get this, I get that. I'm living in a 1-bedroom.
Wow. Yeah.
It's the girl tennis player is now the Eric Dickerson.
Sure, exactly.
They're getting paid this.
Exactly.
And so people are looking at other things, and if you don't have someone kind of leading the ship, i.e. parent, and saying, let's look at this on a 10-year basis, what's best. I think some parents do that, but I think most will chase that quick dollar and cent. And another thing, I'm having kids, the first question they ask me, this is a pandemic. Well, do I have to go to class? Or do you have an online school? No, it's UCLA. This is a higher, they want to go to a university, be affiliated to get paid, but they don't want to go to class, sit in a classroom. So it's like, well, I don't.
And they won't at some schools.
They won't. They'll take all on. Their coach will go up to them in this first 5 minute spiel. That will be one of his top things. You can go out, play the fall, and play all pro tournaments, and I'll pay for it too.
Well, I got some good advice from E40 in the Yay area. Don't buy an $85,000 car before you buy a house. So if you get that money, you need to buy a house with it or some property.
Troy,
Yes, sir.
I know you victory, Troy.
That's right. That was good advice, right?
What would Troy have done? What would you have done?
Well, we took money.
So you taking that $85
$85,000.
car versus
We
that
bought
house?
that house. We didn't buy no car.
Okay, you change down on the house.
Yep.
And this is a big topic now.
I think it's it's an interesting beast coming into it.
Yes.
Man.
It's the collectives are definitely going to hurt because that means alumni can come in, and they've said, "Oh, this is for these athletes to make money." Now, there's 5 or 6 athletes that corporate America is going to attach their name to. They're not going to risk. Pepsi's not going to risk putting billions of dollars on a college athlete or $1 million and them do something wrong. That's very few kids.
Unless,
You're winning a Heisman Trophy and throwing touchdowns at SC.
or you got a parent
Yeah.
that's somebody. Because the highest paid athlete is going to be who right now?
So how much is that alumni in charge of, or charging, or controlling?
Oh, they can have a $3 million collective. So all the alumni put all their money into one pool for all the athletic department to pay all the athletes.
Who's going to be the highest paid athlete next year?
Quarterback.
No.
No.
You know who it is.
Ronnie.
The point guard.
LeBron James' son.
Shout out to Ronnie.
LeBron James' son.
LeBron James' son, the number 2 biggest athlete is the black golfer at USC.
What?
Lady golfer. They're 1 and 2. She's the highest paid, more than he was last year, the quarterback at SC. With NIL, she was the highest paid.
It was Mikey Williams.
But
But next year, we know who that is, hands down.
yeah, he's
Why? And this is my argument. It's also going to go to because of, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but because of a name. There's no way you're going to not get LeBron James' son being having 10 on the pole, right? And so and on the flip side of that, even like you say, I'm looking at Errol again, like a volunteer coach, you know, where they're not getting paid, or like you say, it's tough to even pay it like that. You have to work ways and work magic, but it's, you know, what's your advice to someone like that? I mean, like, you know, that's a tough situation for you.
It is. It is.
I mean, is that Pandora's box now that the athletes are getting paid? Now the alumni
Sure.
can
The rules
put money in for the.
All these things they changed, then everyone tries to find a way to cut a hole in it and maximize what they can do out of it. So the rules are constantly changing. There's so many things that need to be changed since this NIL, the collectives, and they're catching up. And they did these things with the NCAAs. It should have happened a long time ago, but I wonder how many athletes are benefiting from it. We're talking about there's 318 Division I women's teams. How many girls are getting paid? I mean, I'm in the Pac-12, but what about all the other schools?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We used to get a per diem when we would go on road trips.
Only on road trips, though.
It was only on the road trips.
Only on the road trips.
Man, I would clean up on my per diem.
Wait a second. We get pregame snacks. You get pregame sandwich. You get lunch. Wait, let's go to Whole Foods and get your $12 smoothie and your $10 sandwich. Troy, it's a new time.
Yeah, we had a little lunchbox.
You went to Subway. You went to Subway, got a sandwich, and said, what is it?
Man, we get an envelope before every road trip.
Passed out by the coaches in the band.
Envelope.
In the band.
They get $40 Division I. It's $10 for breakfast, $10 for lunch, and $20 for dinner. We all know you can't live on that traveling. We don't really hand out per diem.
No, you don't.
We don't.
You handle it.
You eat healthy.
Yes. We're gonna make sure.
We're gonna give you a.
No wonder I didn't go to UCLA.
We handle a little different. But again, the rich get richer, and I hope college athletics makes it through this growing stage, because I feel there's more that are going to lose than win. Will there be a super conference? 4 super conferences, and the rest are left up to their own devices.
Wow.
I mean, what are we going, Big Ten? How many teams are in Big Ten? 16?
12, 14.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, we're gonna break it up into the East and West.
Yeah.
They're already broken up to these and that.
So they're chasing another two Pac-12 schools. So what? 2 more. So will there be super conferences? And that's going to hurt more than it will probably help. And that's a sign of the times, because the TV deals. I mean, Notre Dame had their own TV channel station. Texas has their own. They don't even. Those schools are very unique, but. They're catching up the rules with all the paying the athletes. Are we student athletes, or are we professionals? And I think Stella and I have gone through this and seen this.
One more thing, times have changed, because I remember Brandy Freudenberg, their parents put 800,000 miles on a Mercedes traveling to watch them. And now they can Zoom the matches.
Brandy Freudenberg. Wow.
Right, they don't even have to leave, they can Zoom the matches at home and watch them from.
Yeah, that's a good problem. That's a good thing. I mean, Tian's parents in China can sit there and watch them on live stream on 98% of her matches. So those are good things for the student athlete, for the parent. It helps us if we're recruiting out of California, where the kids who want to, parents can still watch you play. They don't have to always fly out. So some of the good things about the technology.
The technology,
the live streaming. Everyone's live streaming. The kids are twittering left and right scores. So different ways to follow now.
And you were able to evolve with that whole.
That's been much easier than the financial component.
Rance, explain to me the process of going into setting up to talk to a family about their kid, and how does that all work for you?
Home visits are important. I think a lot of coaches don't do them as much anymore as they did in our day. You came in our living room to talk to mom and dad. That's definitely changed. You're talking to more coaches than parents. Stella's a big component of going into the home. You can tell a lot. I'll give a short story. It's in Newport Beach. You guys all know this athlete. Went in, having dinner, and the young lady was in a conversation, and she looked at Mom and said, "Mom, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about." I get a little hit on my leg from Stella. It's like, "You ready to leave?"
It's like,
And I said, "What?" She said, "Shut up to her mom. What's she going to say to us?"
Right.
It's like, and that's, again,
Character.
that's Miss Sampras Webster. She's cut from a little different cloth. You know, there's only 2 athletes that haven't graduated underneath our tenure, and that's
Wow.
Abigail Spears, who just retired from pro tennis, and Jim Brady. So, will they come back? We hope so, but that's what that university is looking at, national championships, but as an athletic department, as an athletic director, you know, that's what you want, your athletes graduating.
And if a kid comes to you for like a year or 2, they can come back and still get their school paid.
And this is the information, it's a blessing you're doing this, because parents need to understand, you come play for us for 9 months. I'm giving you an insurance policy and said, "Mr. Smith, your daughter plays for 9 months and turned pros. If she comes back and leaves in good standing, and her grades are decent, leave after 1 year, we will pay for the remaining of her schooling when she finishes pro tennis." So it's an insurance policy that still have an education. And sometimes it flatters me when parents say no to that.
Wow.
It's like, well, she's ready to play pros. Well, what's her ranking? 855. You know, and you kind of, wait, 9 months, she can get 25, 30 matches in, which we all know is a lot of money and a long time to play matches. Let's go to school for a year, work on some of your game, and it's still puzzling to me that some parents don't look at the component of, well, let's do this for a year, and then let's go. And sometimes I feel minority kids are getting shortchanged on this. When you come from a family with a mom and a dad who are doctors or of education, they look at all of this. And their questions will be not just the basic questions. So, what do you mean by when I come back, will you pay for it? What's that include? How many quarters? How many semesters? What kind of tutorial system is set up?
Yeah.
You'll get the whole range of it. But again, it's not these people's fault. Maybe mom and dad didn't go to college and understand all these things. So you're
When we
doing.
went, it was 5 years to play 4.
Yep.
That was the school.
Redshirt year.
5 years to
It's still the same way. Still the same way.
But now you can transfer and not have to redshirt.
You can transfer tomorrow, cross town, do anything
Yeah,
you want.
redshirt, and that was tough on me, boy.
Yeah, that's made a lot of people think about things, but
Yes.
no loyalty anymore.
Okay.
Hey, we can win a national title. It's NBA. Let's get them.
All right, brother, about 20 years ago, maybe 30 at 9 o'clock on Sunday night, boys. Look out, Newport Beach!
It's not just one thing that makes a great truck, it's a variety of features that make your truck great. The Ford Ranger or the F-Series are both efficient and reliable. At Champion Ford, we have a truck that will boldly take you on all your adventures.
Rance, got a question for you about Errol. How much was he an impact on the team when you decided to hire him as a volunteer coach?
It's hard to know how someone's going to come in and deal with this because we have some unique personalities. It's a tricky group. And
Can I ask a quick tricky question?
sure, go ahead. I might not answer if it's too
That is a good looking dude right there. That
Like I
is
said.
a real fine six
Don't
beautiful brother.
Don't think Stella and I don't sit in that office and go, is he too close to their ages? I think about that first thing I think about when I think about that. There's been people that got crossed off my list, either that or, no, I don't want them around my girls. When I say my girls, I don't mean that. That's my family. Those are my little girls. So, you bring him in. Is the impact? I don't like that word impact, because he's part of our family. He's been more of an impact. It's not that. When you come in and you earn someone's respect, it's huge. Many times I've texted you and just say, he's knocking out the ballpark, he's killing it. And it wasn't the X's and the O's of tennis. It was him establishing relationships and with these young people, which isn't easy on a professional level.
Yeah.
And as we all know, we're tennis professionals. Young people can take a liking to you. It's always a tricky spot. But getting back to E, coming in and getting respect. Stella and I were confident enough knowing the X's and O's are fine.
Right.
He coaches number 1, 2, and 3 players. We trust him to be in the front court. Stella trusts him enough to leave him on the front courts by himself. And the way UCLA people on the podcast might understand, we have 3 courts and 3 courts, front side and back side. So initially he earned the respect from Stella and I. But again, does Tian win national title because of E or myself or what? But it sure makes it a lot easier once this young lady's trusting us, because I could tell you there's 3 players on that court from our team that would have kind of, no, I don't want to try to do this. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. Did Tian ever look at you and not do anything you said?
Never.
How did he do? That speaks volumes.
No.
And I tell his dad that. I think I hopefully express it to Errol. We got to spend a good 10 days with Tian, and it's easy. It's easy. This young man comes in and respects what I'm doing with Coach Sampras and respects where he's at. So that's an easy. I can look at Coach Sampras across the desk.
Did you coaches bring us some UCLA gear today?
No, we don't have it in this only. Those two got it.
Boxes over there with UCLA gear.
We might even have a little song
boxes. There's no size 15s. No.
You better shave some legs and get some skirts on.
If you got some 15s, I'm gonna roll them all up. Roll them up. What did you guys do before Errol came? How many courts did you take?
We had a volunteer before. He was a local pro on GC.
Oh, GC.
He did a great job, but again, a completely different communicator, different style.
Right.
Of course.
And it's time.
And what court did you guys put GC on?
GC was in the front with Stella. The backcourt's, it's kind of my baby. It's hard to take.
You don't want nobody messing with that. Ain't nobody coming here.
Rance got the back on lock.
Just put me down there at number 6. I'm good.
Rance got the back on lock.
4 or 5 and 6, not 6.
Rance got
4
the
or
back
5
on
and
lock.
6.
Are some of the players asking for Errol?
I don't think.
Can he come to the backcourt and coach us?
Not yet.
I'm just saying because it's like. There, she's doing really well, and he's there.
And I'm sure some are thinking it,
Yeah.
but they got to realize Tian's doing her bit. She's taking the information. So hopefully they're bright enough to understand. But there are athletes. Well, I don't like what Rance is telling me, or I don't like this, and they're not used to being coached, which is fair.
It's an age thing.
It's an age thing.
So, what things did you have to talk to Errol about when you brought?
How did you prepare him for that?
Yes.
Oh, I look back at the Kramer Club when I said something to him. This girl, what I said happened in the next 15 seconds. He trusts me.
Can you share that?
No, we're not going to.
Cut! Wow!
We're not going there.
That's that cloth talk.
He trusts the 40 years plus or 26 years I've been at UCLA.
Rance got it. As soon as I walked in the office and I saw the rings, and those were some serious rings, dude. He got some serious ring. You said I ain't got a big ring, but you got a big ring too. Though. You got a nice little rock.
Yeah, I do.
And then, just to walk into his office, it's like a Hall of Famer. You got Billie Jean King up in the corner. He got signed balls by Pete. He got letters and from everybody.
I've never been invited to your office.
So Oh man.
I've never been invited to your office. I've never been. My son has been there.
Hey,
Troy's been there
work is
before me.
work.
Wait a minute.
No, work is
Wait a
work.
minute. Now I see why Troy has won. You see? Look at me, Rance. You
No,
see?
no.
My son.
We're
my
not going into this
son,
truck.
Troy's in there. And then Troy goes, you know they got good food in there. And then he said, you can even take a nap. But the kids started taking a nap all the time. Right?
At the #1 dorm food in America.
Number one.
It's
that good.
Yeah.
It's always that good. But man, for like I said, for me to come in and just, I learn from him every day. I mean, just some of the stuff he tells me, and it's a different perspective. Like I was saying, when I was coming in as a player when I was playing, but coming as a coach, he's telling me certain things. I'm just like, oh, so that's why my college coach told me that, or that's why even my dad told me that. That's why Uncle Troy told me that, or that's why Uncle T told me that. Just because it's a different way of thinking. So just learning constantly from what he tells me, and it works. I mean, it works. So I can't.
I had to. When Rance hired me for the summer, I was determined to get there before him and leave. Don't laugh. Me, Savannah, and so we get there at 6:45. They bring me we put all the baskets out, man. And I just wanted to make Rance so proud of me, man. We get there early and we make sure all those baskets were out before the camp started, man. Yeah.
And then the kids say, he's not in charge.
But what you didn't know was Rance was already there.
He's not in charge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you another little golden nugget, Troy. I'm gonna give you another golden nugget here.
Okay.
You got my dad, best compliment my dad ever gave me in my life. He said, I have 2 sons, a son and a daughter with a doctorate, and I've got another son with a master's. But you got the right PhD. You got to be poor, hungry, and driven in life.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's
You got to have that kind of mentality. You got to hire the right PhD in life.
that drive, huh?
And,
Yeah.
it's a lot of PhDs.
Yeah. And I knew it because I knew his reputation of outworking everybody. And I knew it was a moment for me to really just the work ethics. If I could keep up with him, or get there a little earlier than him.
Now, some of those things are good and some are bad. It's I pride myself on that, but I'm selfish. I can make some decisions. I don't have a son, a wife, or any decisions. It's me. So I have this. My team's my family. It is everything I do. And sometimes that's not healthy. And that's something I've had to kind of readjust here and be sure I take care of Rance.
Yeah, I think we all have been over workaholics, but we've had to, man. We got to pay the bills, man. We don't have that cushion.
Francis says, you got to keep the lights on.
Yeah, so.
Hey, I've literally been down in the hotel at 5:30. This man's just waiting at like 5. I'm like, Rance, what are you doing? He's like, I've been down here. Pack the ready. So he stays ready.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wait, 1 second.
go ahead, brother.
Oh,
So-
what team? Come on.
Do you know what Rance has in common with his siblings?
What was he?
Do you know Troy?
No.
You know Roger.
Looks.
Side. Rodney, Rex, Rory, Rance.
Yeah, you got all.
I know what mom and dad were
Did
thinking.
you hear that?
How did that?
Did you hear that?
What was your dad?
Robert.
What was your mom's name?
Mom's a Southern lady. She's the only one.
So dad controlled that situation.
Yeah. Troy, did you know that?
Military.
But I think you knew the name, but you didn't put it together.
Put it together.
And you probably know the name. You put it together.
Wow.
Before I want to give a little props to you. Thank you for this environment, this venue to share. And again, guys, he's got an uncle, he's got a coach, he's got mentors, but it's all about the young people and what we do. You asked me, did Errol make an impact? It's more than that. I think an impact it's more than that. These kids, Stella and I, I'm not worried, but they, we come out to practice and he walks in, music gets better, everything, energy gets better, everything gets better. It's that energy, what he provides, and it's, I think that's why it works. It works for you. But again, it starts at the top, and I've learned a lot from Stella, and hopefully.
Can I claim a little bit of Earl? He's my godson.
Who? Is he? How
my godson over
how
there.
you get the Godfather?
My godson.
How you get the Godfather?
That's Godfather right there.
Claim a little bit of it.
Look, in closing, we're gonna go around. We always do this. Let's start with you. Guess. Life, college, the impact you have on these kids, your success at UCLA. Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Philippians 4:13. You can do anything through the strength of God. So just keep that as your foundation.
Say that again.
Philippians 4:13. You can do anything through the strength of God.
Yeah.
My tennis shoes.
I can do all things through Christ.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
So for me personally, and I'm not telling anyone they have to do this, but for me, that is my rule book that I have to keep this black man going on a daily basis. So it's
awesome.
that's for me.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Come on,
when you say that scripture, and we done heard them all, and we will say about my dyslexia, about your dyslexia, but we've had the book, we've had the guide, we've had the road to go down. We were taught to go down that road through our parents and through the Word. They did the best they could, but they brought in the Word to help them raise us.
Bring your children up in the way.
Yeah, so, it's just something. That scripture, that's a beautiful scripture. That was my scripture when I played tennis.
Yeah.
It was inside my racket cover. And whenever I got upset, I just would look at that.
That's all right. I write it on my shoes.
You read it? Wow. Yeah, I just want to say that.
You got the mic.
I got the mic. I've always got the mic. You want me to drop it? Let me see. Some words of wisdom. Hope, faith, trust, love, my brothers,
Keep hope alive.
my brothers, my family. I'm gonna just drop it right there. That's it.
Easy.
No, again, I appreciate you guys for just, of course, these conversations that we're having together, and to be able to, experience and share with you guys, it's a blessing. I mean, again, I was on the road with Uncle Rance for the last 4 months, and again, just from your teachings and being able to bring it to fruition on court, it's a blessing to be around y'all, man. And I appreciate you guys always, and hopefully we keep it going.
Sure.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to say this like I say every time. Victory, Troy, without crying. You got the mic.
Express yourself.
I helped you out tonight, Troy.
You said you helped out. You were good. You were good. That was wow. Come on, my brother. She said, sit up straight.
For the tennis culture, one of my mission statements was using tennis as a vehicle to further your education. You know what I mean? And I think that there's way more empowerment in that versus, I shouldn't say, because I don't want to be a dream killer for all those out there, but I think using tennis as a vehicle to further your education is guaranteed, and You know, I'm all for everybody turning pro, but we have to understand that's not guaranteed. You know, that if you have a scholarship to college to play tennis, or you got into the college because of academic preferences, then you're already a millionaire. That tennis is paid off for you. It's just deferred. You know, it's deferred. So go ahead and major in the STEMs. You know, use that degree, that scholarship to get a degree in medicine, you know, engineering, in the sciences. And if you love the sport, then continue afterwards and stay in the industry. I mean, it's such a, you know, the sports industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you can raise your family. You know, it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I would say, you know, use tennis as a vehicle to further your education.
That's good.
You know.
That's good. You done?
Slinger, your turn.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
I got one more thing to say.
There you go.
Shout out to my nephew Jordan and all the production crew out there.
Hey,
the ones that are making it for us out there. You know, obviously without, you know, their technical support, none of this would be happening. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes.
And the producer.
Yes, the producer that's making all of this happen for us. You don't get to see their faces, but you know, we want to really, really thank them for giving us an opportunity for us to, we're all friends, and you know, we're at a time in our life where we're so busy that we don't even get to call each other sometimes, or return the call when we have called one another. And you know, it's so magical for us just to, you know, be able to sit down, have the time to sit down with one another. So thank you for the production crew and everybody behind the scene that really has made this possible for us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hey, you coming back?
You know it.
You please, you got.
You know it.
We're not done.
Yeah.
We're not done, man. There is so much more to this story and to our lives.
Well, we can have the continuation part 2, but
Yes.
we didn't turn this off.
I would love that. Please,
mic drop.
Can we all go, hey, you want to know about it?
Listen, we talk about friendship, we talk about tennis, we talk about school. There's life. That's exactly what this is, and that's exactly what our mission is on this podcast. We create a lot of ruckus, a lot of racket, a lot of noise, but it all comes down to family. Rance, we really appreciate you.
Yes, yes.
And,
Appreciate you guys.
I love what you do. I respect what you do. I remember a call from you one day. We all call each other. Rance called me one day and he goes, man, he's going through a rough day. He's like, I just don't understand people. You know, they just don't understand. And he had just won the team championships. And I said to Rance, I'm driving, right? I'm like, Rance, it's lonely at the top, isn't it? I said, it's lonely at the top, isn't it? Rance, you're on top of the world. You just won the team championship. What do you think is coming with that? What do you think is coming with that?
You know, that's why we have each other to keep us in line.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pull us back down to earth.
Hey, you know what? You know, this is my therapy.
Yeah, you in trouble? No, that's
I'm really
therapy.
serious. This is my therapy because I get an opportunity and to format to open up and talk to my brothers and also learn about some things I just didn't know about.
Didn't know.
And also to educate myself in your profession. So when somebody's out there who asks me some questions, I'll know exactly how to direct them.
Exactly.
You know, I will know. So thank you, brother.
That will
Thank you.
take evidence.
And educate yourself so you can educate others, because
Yes.
that's what we're all here for. This is what our legacy is all about, right? How do we pass on what we've learned to help others? And it's just a building process. Rance, I love how you guys do things at UCLA. Shout out to UCLA Athletic Department. Shout out to
Shout out Stella.
Shout out to you, Rance.
42?
I like how you guys.
You're going to China this summer, right?
Yeah, I'm privileged enough to coach Team USA in the University World Games.
And you're gonna do great, man.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you're gonna kill it.
Congratulations.
For that, the tennis over.
It's you get 2 men and women singles, you got the mixed doubles, and you have doubles. Same format as the Olympics.
Oh,
Let's go. Let's get it.
But again, respect to how you guys do things. You believe in inclusiveness. You've invited me out with practices. You've invited me out to talk to your team. You've invited me out to your summer camps. You called me behind the scenes, on the scene, whenever, and that's what this is all about. And again, this message is how life is just a circle. Look at you to Terry, Terry to Troy, Troy to me, and now you've opened your house up to my son, which I'm truly grateful for. I appreciate all the mentorship, the help that you give him, like you give to everyone else. We love you, man. You will be back.
I will.
And,
Part 2, can't wait, baby.
And we just are so grateful, man. Just are so grateful. Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you.
You should have said this. 2 days after we win championship, who's the head coach at... Can I get Errol's number?